We good? First off, let me say this. Mo's got a really good basketball team, Jackson State now. I don't know how many of you guys know that. You know, that team's picked to win that league. They got 4 starters back. Mo does a really good job with them, too, now. Great job. And those guys, at the end of the year, like I said, they're picked to win that league. They're going to be a hard out for a lot of people. I'm proud of the way our guys kind of withstood that first 5 minutes. That first 5 minutes, I think we were playing for the other team a little bit. I think we had 8 turnovers in that first 5 to 6 minutes. In the next 35 minutes, we turned it over a total 6 times. And that was a huge difference flow of that game, too. I thought Young came off the bench and gave us some defensive energy. Someone can stand in front of that little guy. That little guy was quick. I thought he really helped us. You know, I say this a lot. We're not as smooth as we need to be offensively, but we're getting better. But still, again, we're able to score 97 points, 94 points. And when you can score the basketball, makes that game a lot easier. Again, they got some guys can shoot it. We put 5 guys in double figures, scoring the ball, 21 assists, 16 turnovers. That was positive. And again, you know, Coach Hardaway had them prepared to play. These guys were going to play for Coach Hardaway. You know, that's the whole key. He had them prepared. Those guys were ready to play. A little extra juice because Coach ain't here. All those assistant coaches, those guys work hard on the scouts. Those guys deserve a lot of credit for everything they do, the amount of time they put in these films. So, you know, you got to win that first one. It's always the key. The biggest game of the year is which one? Always the next one. Happened to be tonight. Now we turn to the next one. And we all know we go on the road to the next one into a very difficult environment against a really good team. But I know our guys will be ready and prepared for that. Questions?
Introduce yourself and your station. Coach Stansbury.
How's it going, Rick? Matt Enfield, Action News 5. You talked about that first opening punch that Jackson State threw at you guys. What did you think about Jaquan and what he gave you guys offensively? And then as a follow-up, I saw he had a heating pad on his leg, and then he left late. Looked like he was limping a little bit. Is he okay?
He was smiling in the locker room, so he's okay. He got us going. I think he had 17 the first half. The second half wasn't involved as much. He gives me any shots. To that last dunk, I think he ended up with 19 points. Again, when you have multiple weapons, you don't have to just zero in and play that one guy. You know, so many different guys can score at basketball. You know, I thought Jones got us going the second half with some threes. You know, Brown was efficient, very efficient, 5 for 7. We made more free throws than they attempted. We need to make more instead of 15 out of 23. I think they made 12. We need to be more efficient in making them. That's always a big stat, too.
Terry Davis, Tri-State Defender. Hey, I think you went on a 10-0 run in a minute based off your defense. What do you do different there to make that quick swing from that 10-0 run in less than a minute?
You know, I thought that little stretch, I thought we got into their lungs a little bit. I thought we picked up a little bit. I thought those little guards got a little bit tired. And when you get tired, you're more apt to make some mistakes. And they made some mistakes on a couple inbounds plays. Mills had a couple steals and got us going. And, you know, it doesn't take long, you know, to change the flow of a game. When you have different guys can score, boy, in a minute and a half or 2 minutes, you know, this team has some, I think, some spurtability. I don't know if that's a word. I've used that for 40 years, or 20-some years, spurtability. What I mean by that is a team that can score quickly at different times. You know, where it's a three-pointer, multiple guys, or getting it inside. So we spurted right there. And you need that kind of, you know, firepower a little bit on your team.
Coach in the back, Avery Braxton, ABC 24.
Yes, sir.
This is the first game of 3 that you'll act as kind of the acting head coach. I just kind of wonder what kind of correspondence did you have with Coach Hardaway today, and what was the experience like for you working with the other coaches?
Well, first off, just know this. Hey, you know, Coach deserves all the credit. He's got this team ready to play, and I'm just a little piece of it. Those assistant coaches deserve more credit than I get. You know, those guys work hard. They're very important, putting game plans together. So my role is very minimized. That's number one. You know, We have a great stat. That's the second part of your question. You know, we have good people. We have guys that work hard and guys that understand things, and it's a kind of a whole new staff and a whole new team, basically. 11 new guys and a whole bunch of new staff people, isn't there? So, but it's all good. They're all good people, coaches and players. That's where it starts at.
Rick, Mark Giannotto from the Commercial Appeal.
Commercial appeal, okay?
Yes. Different starting lineup than the exhibition games. I'm curious what you saw from that group and just rotation-wise. You know, you're playing 11, 12 guys. There's probably 11 or 12 guys that deserve playing time. How do you think that plays out here early on, you know, especially with a game against Missouri coming up on Friday?
Yeah, we probably shortened that. We shortened that bench a little bit tonight. Not by numbers we played, but the amount of minutes some of them played off that bench. You know, we probably settled in on 8 guys pretty good there, and JP and Ashton being 9, 10, and Young being 11. You know, it's still a lot of guys, but some of those guys probably didn't play the amount of minutes they played in the exhibition games. And, you know, we got to find out, keep moving forward. You got to get some rhythm what you're doing, and those roles will take care of themselves sometimes. I tell players all the time, coaches don't decide playing time. Players decide playing time. It's better you play, the more time you get. If you don't play very well, less time you get. So it's really kind of easy. Naturally, the most experienced guys probably get the first benefit of doing it. And it's hard coming off the bench. But I will say this always. The key to championship teams is not 1 through 5. It's 6 through 9 or 10. A lot of those guys are good enough to be starters, but they have to accept the role coming off that bench. And the way they come off that bench and perform, those are the key guys in helping you put a team together and win championships. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If it's 11 for us, it's 11.
Coach Malik Robinson, Daley Helmson, you guys were bombarded by the 2-3 zone. What was said in the huddle to break that slump?
You know, we haven't done a whole lot of, we don't zone. So naturally, when you don't zone, means you don't work against it a whole lot. But I do think this. We had some good shots in around that basket the second half against the zone. JQ missed a couple, turned it over around that baseline. I thought we got better, but we have to keep getting better at that. We got to make transitions. When teams change defenses on you, we got to make that transition. You know, the best way to beat a zone, beat it in transition, number one. But if you don't have it, then you got to shift gears a little bit. You got to slow up. It's not like playing against a man. You got to find those gaps. And, you know, probably coach, we knew this team was going to zone a little bit. We just put the zone offense in yesterday, basically. You know, where these guys could move and cut around a little bit. And, you know, it didn't take long for us to get a shot. We didn't always make it, but we got a pretty good shot against that zone. We will not be an easy team to zone, I don't think. When you got a guy on the inside can really score it, multiple guys, Dandridge and Brown. And you got multiple guys who's capable of jumping up and making a shot. Not easy to zone with a little bit of ball movement, ability to make that extra pass. I thought JP came in the second half and gave us some real, I call it cerebralness. He made 2 passes that a lot of guys couldn't make. Made that lob to Dandridge, and he made that skip pass over to David Jones. And those are little things. And again, a guy coming off the bench, they have to add 2. He added 2 right there. Does he play the amount of minutes he wants to? None of them do. But when you come in and add 2, what's that do for a coach? Gives him more confidence to play more. And I thought his skill level out there on the court is really, really good. Really good. And that's I said JP, right? JP, yes. Who's?
Last question, Jason.
Yeah, Jason, you ain't asked one yet?
Yeah. I was saving the best for last.
I got you.
Walking off the floor, was there 1 or 2 things that, you're kind of obviously, Missouri's next up. Is there 1 or 2 things that are top of the mind that are like, we need to really clean those up before we get to Columbia?
Well, I mean, naturally, not a lot of guys have a little 5-6 point guard. A little guy's hard to keep in front of you. I thought we were much better second half guarding the ball screen. The first half, they got off to the lead because of a certain way we were guarding the ball screen. We made the adjustment, slowed that penetration down. We got to continue to get better right there. You got to have multiple ways to guard ball screens. People are going to do different things, and the guy coming off that ball screen has different abilities. So we have to continue to get better there. And Coach will. Coach got a package of stuff he'll put together. And, you know, I know when you look at the stat sheet, we got rebounded. I don't know where it'll – halftime we were up on the rebounding stat. I know there's a lot of those long rebounds. You never like that stat. But, you know, continue to become efficient offensively too, man. But we're going to hang our hat on abilities to defend. That's where it starts. And we get stops, get out in transition because you got multiple guys can dribble, handle, pass, and shoot some. It's kind of, you know, that's one of the toughest things to defend now in transition, creating chaos in transition when guys can dribble, handle, and pass it. And we got a team that can do that. But it starts at the defensive end. So I think that's probably the first thing Coach would say. We got to continue to get better with that. But I can promise you, you know, these guys, I'm going to say this again, Coach Hardaway had these guys prepared. They were ready. Mentally, they were playing for him. And as we talked about, you got to get that first one. Going on the road, there's nothing more special than going on the road and winning. Everybody's pretty good at home. But going on the road and winning, that's what's really special. And that's our next challenge now. That's our next challenge, going on the road against a really, really good basketball team in a very hostile environment and find a way to do it. That will grow us up. That will make us better, for sure. Anything else? Good?